name is Dan Cheers. I'm director of the Evergreen Institute, the Center for Renewable Energy and Green Building in East Central Missouri. I'm also author of numerous books on green building, sustainability, sustainable living, solar energy. And I've been at it for a long time. Today, I want to continue my talk. This is part 4 of a 5-part series. And today I want to talk to you about lessons from nature. Things that we can learn from the way natural systems operate and sustain themselves to create a sustainable future for humankind. In part 2, I emphasize the importance of the earth and its ecosystems to human welfare, to our economy, to our well-being, to the food the air we breathe, the water we drink. It's the infrastructure of human society. And made the point that we clearly need to protect the earth. It's in our best interest. Planet care is the ultimate form of self-care. I also like to remind you that good planets are hard to come by. This is planet Earth. We only have one of them. We need to take care of it. As far as we know, it's the only habitable real estate in our solar system, clearly within our grasp. So let's take care of it. But how do we accomplish that? How do we go about protecting the environment and yet living well? How do we live sustainably? Well, for years, since the 1970s, I've been exploring this issue, trying to understand how it is that humans can live sustainably on planet Earth. And it occurs to me that some of the greatest lessons could come from nature. So my question to you is, why don't we listen to organisms that have been on planet Earth for millions of years? Why don't we ask Mother Nature the secrets of sustaining life on planet Earth? This is a new approach called biomimicry. And I gathered some quotes from the Biomimicry Institute website. Biomimicry is an approach to innovation that seeks sustainable solutions. That's solutions that are good for people, the planet, and the environment. Solutions that make sense from all 3 perspectives, and solutions that help us build an enduring human present. So biomimicry is an approach to innovation that seeks sustainable solutions to many human challenges by emulating nature's time-tested patterns and strategies. The goal is to create products, processes, and policies, new ways of living that are well adapted to life on Earth over the long haul. So really it's about creating a new economy and a new way of life based on what we know from nature, how nature sustains itself. The core idea is that nature has already solved many of the problems we are grappling with. Animals, plants, and microbes are consummate engineers, for example. After billions of years of research and development, we call that evolution, failures are fossils, and what surrounds us is the secret to survival. That's all from the Biomimicry Institute. Check out their website. Great resource. Here's an example from that website as well, showing the main focus of biomimicry, which has been technology and innovation in that sense. On the left is termite mounds that are built by organisms. The way they're built is that they're naturally cooled. So they're designed for natural ventilation, so cool air circulates through these and maintains a temperature within 1 degree Celsius. On the right is one of many cities in the world in which we spend billions of dollars and burn tons of coal and oil and natural gas to heat and cool, to maintain temperatures. We can learn from nature's design to build buildings that naturally cool themselves. That's been the focus of biomimicry, finding processes that nature carries out at room temperature. For example, building ceramics, like the shell of an oyster, at sea temperature without toxic chemicals like sulfuric acid, without high heat processes. So that's been the focus of biomimicry, is creating tools based on nature. I feel that nature has a lot more to offer than just specific examples of technology that we can apply to our lives. And many years ago, I wrote a book called Lessons from Nature, Learning to Live Sustainably on the Earth. And it's an outcome of my study of ecosystems and comparing ecosystems to human systems to see how nature manages its affairs and how we do. And they're great lessons when you look at the two. They're great lessons that we can draw from nature to help us steer onto a sustainable course. And here are the ecological principles of sustainability that I derive from my studies of sustainability in natural systems. They are conservation, recycling, renewable resources, restoration, adaptation, adapting to the environment, and population control. Now let me talk about each one of these. Remember too, though, that this is a biological blueprint. These strategies are tested over 3.5 billion years of evolutionary trial and error. This is Mother Nature's solution to living sustainably on a finite planet, bathed in solar energy and blessed with many renewable resources. Nature's design guidelines. So think of these as nature's design guidelines. And we ask ourselves, can we apply these to human systems? Remember this, nature is the master of sustainability. She's got it worked out. There's much that we can learn from this. One of the principles is conservation. Natural systems ensure their long-term survival through this unconscious act of resource conservation. It's not that organisms get up in the morning and say, I have to be very frugal today. Organisms basically use what they need and use it efficiently. Now there are some exceptions to that rule, but by and large, that's the modus operandi of nature. Use what you need and use it efficiently. So keep that in mind. Use what you need and use it very efficiently. I always tell my audiences, you don't go out in the backyard and find a robin's nest with another nest beside it just to hold all the extra stuff. Okay, organisms use what they need and use it efficiently. In addition, in nature, there is no waste. Everything is recycled. All quote-unquote waste is somebody else's food. If you look at the structure of an ecosystem, and this is a very simple drawing of a food chain, you'll notice it all starts with plants, which are a renewable resource, nourished by soil, water, and sunlight and air. And they're consumed by rabbits, which are consumed by predatory animals like coyotes. And when those animals excrete and when they die, the wastes go back into the soil or in water, if this were an aquatic ecosystem, and their decomposer organisms digest that waste, feed on that waste, use it to make energy, to build new body proteins. And so that's bacteria and fungi, all kinds of microorganisms. And in the process, they add valuable nutrients, including organic and inorganic nutrients, back to the soil. They return many of the building blocks back to nature for reuse. So that's a key to success on planet Earth. Another is that nature relies entirely on renewable resources. The natural economy, the economy of nature, is based on renewable resources. It's based on soil, which is a renewable resource if we treat it correctly. Sunlight, water, and plants. That's the basis of Mother Nature's economy, and we could do as well, returning more and more to renewable resources to ensure that we have an endless supply of resources ad infinitum. Another key to sustainability in nature is restoration. There are so many mechanisms in natural systems, in fact in your body, that allow you to repair damage that's been done. A tornado may come through a forest, just knock the trees down, but nature will regrow. Humans have a tendency to move into ecosystems and destroy them and not restore them, to reap their resources but not restore them. We've done a horrible job of restoring natural systems that we depend on. So restoration is important. So life sustains itself, and life thrives, and life evolves because it can repair damage. We need to do the same. Another key feature of natural systems is that organisms are adaptable. The sustainability of nature is ensured by organisms' ability to adapt, to change behaviors, to adapt structurally, to change if times change. Unfortunately, humans aren't so good at that. We tend to move forward, to push forward and change systems and redesign systems to our own liking, but don't adapt to the realities, don't adapt to the fact that we're pumping way more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than natural systems and water systems, aquatic systems can absorb. So we need also to be adaptable, to look at the changing reality and make changes in our behavior and indeed the nature of our lives and the nature of business. Another key to sustainability is population control. In nature, populations are held in check by a variety of different mechanisms. A disease, for example, and predation, one animal eating another, competition between organisms, all kinds of natural mechanisms that are designed to keep populations within the carrying capacity. That's the capacity of the Earth's ecosystems to support them indefinitely, to supply their resources and to remove their waste safely. So keep that in mind. Population control is all about maintaining carrying capacity. Maintaining the carrying capacity of ecosystems, and in our case, maintaining the ability of the Earth to supply us with the resources we need and to assimilate our waste. Now, nature's systems of checks and balances, think of it that way, as checks and balances, ensure that species live within the carrying capacity and, as a result, can thrive, can sustain, can endure for millions and millions and millions of years. We have species on this planet that have been around for millions and millions of years. Okay, so the key question is, can we apply the ecological principles of sustainability to human societies? Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. I'll talk about how we can use these guidelines to structure our own lives, to structure businesses, our economy. You can begin immediately by practicing these ecological principles of sustainability in every aspect of your life. Conserve, use resources, use them efficiently. Use renewable resources. Recycle everything from human waste, quote-unquote waste, to leaves, to plastic bottles and cans. Recycle everything. Emulate nature. Restore what we damage. Restore what we damage. Adapt. Change. That's what we're really asking for, is changing away from this resource-intensive, consumptive, destructive lifestyle to a lifestyle of sustainability, and indeed then also a controlled population. Not just numbers, although that's important, but also how we spread out on the land so that we can preserve natural systems that provide us with all the resources that we need to make our economy possible. If you'd like to learn more, probably my most definitive work on sustainability is a college textbook called Environmental Science. It's quite accessible, very easy to read. It's not a typical boring college textbook, but it's full of information on ecology, natural systems, and sustainability, building sustainability into our systems, revamping systems. If you're interested in creating a sustainable existence in your neighborhood, check out my book, Superbia. I've also written books on specific topics like The Homeowner's Guide to Renewable Energy, The Scoop on Poop, which is one of my newest books, which is about composting human waste. Again, I use quotation marks, nutrient-rich human excretions, we should call it, urine and feces, putting those nutrients back in the soil for reuse. And I've written a book on, this is another book that you might find useful, Power from the Sun. And if you're really interested in becoming self-sufficient, you might check out my book, living comfortably off-grid. My books are available at lehmans.com and evergreeninstitute.org. Amazon carries some of my books, but not all of them. So these two, between lehmans.com and evergreeninstitute.org, you can find plenty of reading material.